JJ.
I'm great, John. How you doing? I saw you
Great.
walking the other day.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. You should have pulled over and walked with me. Help you get in shape.
That was
Might have
impressive.
been too hot for you, huh?
It was hot as
Uh,
hell out, and you were going down the highway.
just the access road on I-10. Um, I want to ask you a twofold question, please. You know Anthony Weaver as well as anybody. What do you think, Anthony, about him as a defensive coordinator? Do you anticipate being used any differently under him? And also, what do you expect from a Minahu going into his second season based on what you saw last season?
Yeah, I love Weave. I think Weave is an incredible coach. I think he's a great man. I think that he's going to do an unbelievable job for us as D coordinator. I think that he has a great mixture of knowledge of the game, experience, but also personality to be able to handle the players in the room, to be able to inject some fun and excitement into meetings, practice, and everything, all while bringing the knowledge necessary to run a good defense. I think that he's done an incredible job with the D line so far in doing those things, and I think he's going to do a great job as D coordinator. And then Chuck, I do. I think Chuck is working hard. He wants to make a big jump this year, and that's his goal. And so I know that he's putting in the work to do that, and I'm looking forward to seeing him progress.
Sarah Marshall.
Hey JJ, with 2 years left and no guaranteed money left on your contract, do you want to sign another one this offseason? An extension?
No, no, I don't think that's necessary. I think that I fully understand and respect the situation that I'm in at the moment, and what's happened in the past few years. So I'm not going to sit here and demand anything because I'm going out there to prove what I'm worth, and I believe that's the right situation for everybody. I think if I went back and asked for an extension, more money, anything right now, I think that would be the wrong move. And so I'm just going out there and trying to prove my worth and to help this team win games and do everything that I can to earn and make sure that these people know that I'm worth it.
Aaron Wilson.
Hey JJ, how are you feeling in the off season after coming off of the pectoral, and now that you've been playing in the league for a while, you're still chasing that Super Bowl. How much is that still what drives you to continue to do it and to train and to do all that you do?
Yeah, I feel good. I mean, that's the goal. That's why we're here. You play the game to win a Super Bowl. That's the goal. So it's that's the driving force. I mean, it's among many things, obviously, but that's always number one: is to help your team, help your city get to that game and to win it. But for me, I mean, motivation is not hard to come by. Whether it's just personal, intrinsic motivation every single day, training, trying to get better, trying to compete against yourself, whether it's competing on the field against other players and other teams, whether it's finding motivation, whatever way you need to. I mean, there will never be a shortage of motivation for me.
Christy Regan.
Hi, JJ. I know that at the end of the day, it's up to medical professionals, and you won't be able to be involved in the decision making. But do you expect there to be a full NFL season? Are you optimistic about that? And have you thought about the possibility of playing without fans and what that would be like?
Yeah, I mean, I have zero information on if it's going to happen, if it's going to happen on time, whatever it is. I don't have any information on that. All I know is I'm preparing like it's going to happen on time, like normal, and I'm getting ready for training camp just like it's going to happen at a normal time. As far as fans, no fans. I mean, obviously, we always prefer to play in front of fans. We love our fans, and it makes the game, the energy, the excitement, the adrenaline. It makes it what it is. But at the same time, as an athlete, as a competitor, you can play in front of no fans. I mean, we want to go out there and compete. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a practice against another team. It doesn't matter if it's a practice against your own team. It doesn't matter if it's in the weight room against yourself. You're always looking to compete. And so it doesn't matter to me if there's fans or no fans. I prefer fans. I would love there to be fans, but if there's not, there's not.
Herman.
JJ, a couple of questions. One, how good is it to still have Romeo Cornell there, and how much he offers? And secondly, Ross Blacklock, after he was drafted, talked about what it means to be able to play with you, and his mother talked about how she learned her football IQ from watching you. What do you think about those things?
It's great to have Rack around still. I mean, I love Rack. I've always said I've been very fortunate to have a guy like Wade Phillips early in my career and a guy like Romeo Cornell here these last few years. I mean, those two guys are just incredible people, incredible minds, incredible experiences, and I've been very fortunate to be around them, to learn from them, and to grow with them. And then just having him, and we just finished up a Zoom meeting right now, and at the end of it, he gave us his little words of advice and wisdom, and we were having some fun. So I mean, he's just such a great guy. In terms of Rack or Ross Blacklock's mother, so I don't know how that interview question. I never thought I'd get that type of interview question, but if I could help her understand football a little better and raise her IQ, I'm glad I can do that. I'm looking forward to meeting her at a game here in the near future, and I'm looking forward to at some point having a dinner at the expense of her son. So that would be great.
Brian Smith.
Hey, JJ, how's it going?
Good, how you doing?
Good. You mentioned after the Hopkins trade that it caught your eye, and that's understandable. And you were just talking about how you want to prove yourself this year. I'm curious. So, do you feel like the organization has done everything that it needs to win at the highest level possible while you've been with the team? Obviously, it's a very complicated process. But I'm just wondering your perspective on that.
Yeah, I mean that's why people have jobs in those positions. That's the coaching staff, general managers, the front office. That's their job. My job is to play the game and to do it to the best of my ability. I have to answer to my job, and they answer to their job. And so that's my job. I go out there and I play the game, and I try and help us win football games. They try and put the team together that they feel is best for us to win football games. We each answer the bell to our own calls.
James Palmer.
I unmuted myself, Amy. I took care of some business. We good?
Good.
You got me?
Yep.
Okay. First off, my son loves the flow. That's his favorite guy on tag. That's his number one dude. This point in your career, now Weave takes over, have you guys talked about how maybe he wants to use you differently, or will you be playing in kind of a different kind of capacity? Can you do some things differently? Has he thought of different ways to use you that you've talked about?
We've talked about it all. Yeah, Weave and I talk all the time. We have great conversations, and we definitely have some exciting plans. I like what he has planned for the defense. I think that he's going to bring some new things, some fresh things, while also building off of some of the things that Rack has taught him over the years as well. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm not going to sit here and divulge exactly, how I'm going to be used and what our playbook is going to look like, but I am looking forward to playing in Weave's defense.
Aaron Reese.
Hey, JJ. It's not obviously the exact same situation, but I'm wondering if there's any advice you've been able to give rookies or draw on yourself from entering the league during the lockout offseason, and obviously that's kind of being another situation where you're not gathering with your teammates in a formal setting.
Yeah, I mean, having gone through this type of offseason in 2011 where there were no OTAs, no minicamp, stuff like that, I do have a little bit of experience to lean on there. And the thing that I've said is, as long as you're training and doing what you need to do from a training standpoint, a running standpoint, getting yourself in the physical shape necessary for training camp, you'll be able to hit the ground running once training camp starts. In this situation, we actually have a little bit more of an advantage in that we have the Zoom meetings. We can go over the defense with the coaching staff. They can implement it, and we can all talk to each other through that. So that is an advantage. But on the flip side of that, the disadvantage is it's hard for guys. In 2011, we could kind of meet as position groups or as an offense or a defense. You can learn the plays, go over them, and practice them together. Right now, we're still kind of working through if that's entirely safe to do, if we should be gathering on our own, if we shouldn't, because we obviously want to get together. We prefer to work out together. We prefer to go over the plays together, but at the same time, we have to be smart about the guidelines and making sure that we're doing everything safe as well. So we're kind of balancing those things just like everybody else. I think there's a lot of uncertainty, and we're just trying to wade through those waters and make sure we do it right.
Greg Bailey.
Hey, JJ, I know the circumstances were obviously not ideal to get you together, but the time you spent with your brothers and your families, how did that kind of refresh you and recharge you, and what did you really enjoy about that opportunity?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, obviously, like you said, the circumstances aren't what we would want to be under, but just spending that much time with my wife, first of all, I mean, she would normally be up in Chicago right now, obviously having playing a season, so we would have been apart for a good chunk of time there, and we instead got to spend that together. after getting married. So that was really nice. And then my brothers, being able to see them and hang out with them as well was great. So it's just anytime, I think that that's one of the silver linings that you can kind of take from all this. I mean, it's obviously a very unfortunate time for us, but if there is a silver lining, it's the amount of time that we get to spend with, in my case, my wife, my dogs, my brothers. And, it's not exactly how the first few months after marriage would look, from a honeymoon perspective and traveling the world. Instead, quarantined together and figuring out who's going to do the dishes and who's going to do the laundry. But it was exciting, and we really enjoyed it.
Drew?
Hey JJ, you should probably do the dishes and the laundry to like get her in get in good graces. But what's it been like this whole process with Tag from the start when you first heard the idea to now getting all the feedback and all that?
Yeah, it's really been wild. I mean, the concept came so far back. I mean, a couple of years back now, when it came to me at first, and then we kind of developed it, built it, brought my brothers on board, and you go through all these phases of designing and building a show and how you want it to look and how you want it to perform, and the whole time you're doing it, you hope the audience is going to like it in the end, and you have no idea. I mean, that's with TV, with ratings and everything, you have no clue how it's going to go. And so now for us to have premiered it last week and to have the #1 show on television for the summer and to have the ratings that we did and going into week 2, I mean, it's just couldn't ask for anything more. And I think the best part about it is I get to share with my brothers, and my parents got to be out there for filming last year. And we had a lot of fun with it. And it's our, a foray into a foreign situation for us, and for it to have success in its premiere last week, we were just very thankful to all the fans, and we're glad they like it.
Vanessa?
Hey, JJ, other than obviously staying healthy, what's a personal goal that you have for yourself going into this season?
I mean, my goal for every season is the same, is to do whatever possible to help the team win. I mean, obviously, #1, that means staying healthy. I mean, so you have to be out on the field in order to help the team win. But then it's to play at the peak physical level that I'm capable of. I mean, I know exactly what I'm capable of doing on the field. That's my goal, is to play at that level, because that's the level that helps the team win the best. So it's just making sure that I'm in the best possible shape and the best possible condition to perform that way.
Brandon Scott?
Hey, JJ, you got married this offseason. You turned 31 this offseason. We've obviously had this pandemic that all of us have had to face. Has the offseason at all, this peculiar offseason that we've had, helped you put your career in perspective and maybe consider how long you'll play and what exactly you want to do when you're done?
Not really, no. I mean, I can understand why I may do that. I mean, I've certainly thought about what it looks like when I'm done and what I plan to do afterwards. I still don't have the answer. I wish I did, but I don't have the answer to what it'll look like when I'm done. I think that something that I've learned over the last multiple years is just day by day, taking it day by day. I think that early on, I definitely let those thoughts creep into my head far earlier than I think I wish I would have. Because I mean, obviously I went through some injuries back in 2015, 2016. And so, I think that I preemptively jumped to those types of thoughts. And I think that I'm not much more now on a day to day, just very excited about getting up, working, competing, and going to work.
Pat? I don't know if you heard me, Pat.
I think you're muted, Pat, or something. I can't hear him.
Okay. Adam Wexler, go ahead.
Hey, JJ, I'm sure we all know the answer to Greg's question about spending time with your family. The best part was having Big John jump over the couch. But my question is, you mentioned earlier about how it's what everybody does their own job, coaching staff, general manager, all those things. But you see what's going on. You're on social media a lot. You know what the feeling is about any offseason, and DeAndre Hopkins gets moved away. You're there on the inside. What makes Bill O'Brien a good head coach? He's got 2 new play callers with him. It's a little bit different role. What makes him good at leading this team?
I think his job is to do just that. Is to lead the team. Is to obviously he's more of an offensive guy than a defensive guy. So it's to lead the overall team, but then to lead the offense. And now with his other roles as well, is to general manager is to do everything within the organization. That's his role, and I think that's what obviously he excels at. So in terms of the internet and the fans and things like that, I mean, I see everything just like you see everything. I mean, I'm not, my head's not in the sand. I know exactly what's going on in the world, and I think that, you know, when I first got here, my first few years in the league, that's when we went to the playoffs for the first time ever. We won our first playoff game, and it was unbelievably exciting. I mean, the fans were just, it was incredible. I mean, the energy, the excitement, the passion, just everything was there. And I think that our fans have that passion, they have that excitement, they want to put it into this team and this organization. And I think that we have to win. I think that's what it comes down to, is winning cures that. Winning is what brings with it. And I understand the fans want to get past what we've gotten past. I want to get past what we've got, where we've been. That's the whole goal. That's literally why I wake up, go work out, put in the time, put in the effort, put my body through this. I mean, if that wasn't my goal, I wouldn't keep doing this after these injuries. I would have shut it down a long time ago. But the goal is to bring this city a championship. And that is why we are putting in the work that we do. And so I want that fun. I want that energy. I want that excitement. I want all the fans to be with us moving towards that. And because I've seen it and I know what that feels like and I know how great it is. So that's my goal, is for that to happen.
We've got time for just a couple more. McLean?
JJ, this is a non-football question, but a lot of prominent Houstonians are speaking out about this. Have you kept up with the Houston native George Floyd being killed by police in Minneapolis? And if you have, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I've seen the video and I think it's disgusting. I think that there's no explanation for it. I mean, to me, it doesn't make any sense. I just don't see how a man in handcuffs on the ground who is clearly detained and clearly saying in distress, I don't understand how that situation can't be remedied in a way that doesn't end in his death. I think that it needs to be addressed strongly, obviously. And I don't see how that situation makes any sense whatsoever. And I think it's anybody who saw the video, anybody who, I don't know how you can defend it. I mean, it's terrible. It's extremely difficult to watch, and I mean, it's upsetting. And so I don't understand it.
Aaron Wilson?
Hey, JJ, what do you think the adjustment will be like to not have your buddy DJ Reader in the middle of the defensive line? And so just what do you see from, you know, the evolution of some of the other guys around you, Brandon Dunn and some of the other guys that are your teammates there on the D-line?
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret I love DJ. He's one of my best friends. He's a great guy. I'm certainly going to miss him both in the D-line room on the field and off the field, just as a friend, having him up there in Cincinnati. But I mean, I also, at the same time, I can't be mad at him. I mean, there's a whole bunch of reasons that he's in Cincinnati now. So, but in terms of the D-line, in terms of the D-line room now, I mean, I love the D-line room. I mean, Brandon Dunn, a guy you mentioned, he's one of my favorite teammates. He's a guy who always keeps it light, fun. He's got great energy. He works extremely hard on the field. He plays well. We got Angelo Blackson, who same thing. He plays his butt off on the field. Great guy in the room. I love our room. I love the guys we have in our room. I love these Zoom meetings every day. I mean, we have the first 10 minutes of it before we get into the nitty gritty of the football. It's like being on a FaceTime call with 10 of your best friends, you know, and we're just shooting the breeze and talking to each other. And we really enjoy being around each other. And I think that makes the work that much better and that much more effective.
Two more. Stephanie?
Hey, JJ, what are you doing personally to protect yourself from the virus? What is the team doing about that? And what do you have to say to fans to protect themselves?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to wade through, like I said, all this information just like everybody else. For me personally, I mean, I go to the gym, and the gym is obviously fully wiped down, and there's protocols in place, and you're not close to anybody, things like that. But other than that, I don't really leave my house a whole lot. I go pick up food. I picked up cotto about it the other day, which is incredible as always. But other than that, it's me and the dog sitting here. Kay's actually up in Chicago now because they're starting to get trained back up for a potential tournament style season for them, I know. So now it's just me and the dogs down here in Houston. And they love that because I throw the tennis ball 650 times an hour. And when I'm not training, that's literally all I do.
All right, Pat.
Hey JJ, hope you and the dogs are well and your frisbee skills are getting better.
Still on the roof.
It's hard to believe that it's already 10 years and it's you and Whitney and John Weeks is the longest tenured Texans. How important is it to you to finish your career in the same uniform that you were drafted in?
I mean, that would be obviously a goal of mine. I mean, this city has been incredible to me since the day I got here. I'm very thankful and fortunate to have the opportunity to play for such great fans who have supported not only myself, my foundation, and everything that I've tried to accomplish. So it's a great place. I certainly hope that's the case. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I can't say what's going to happen in the future, but I certainly hope that that's the case.
All right. Thank you, JJ. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Have a great day.